Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Perpetual here. If you're new, you're warmly welcome. And thank you all so much for joining me today as we make groundnut soup or Nkatekwan. Come along and let's get started. The first step in our groundnut soup recipe is to take our ground nut or smooth all natural peanut butter. You don't want to use the sweet one if you're using peanut butter. You want to use unsweetened peanut butter, and I'm going to add a few tablespoons of tomato paste and water, and I'm going to mix it with my hand until it is well mixed and well incorporated. Now, to mix the peanut butter or the groundnut, you can use a blender, but I find every time I use a blender, it does not develop as much oil when I go to fry it, so I prefer mixing it with my hand. Once it's all mixed, I'm going to pour it into a pan, and it is going to cook on really low heat, and you need to stir it quite often so that it does not burn. The whole goal of this is to develop all the natural oils from your groundnut or your peanut butter. While that cooks, we're gonna get started on our soup, and for this I'm using tripe and intestines and all those organ meats that really makes this a true delicacy. So I just got some water on what we popularly call towel, and I'm going to just give it a quick rinse because I've cleaned it out already, but you want to make sure there's no dirt or anything stuck in between. That's why I'm using hot water, and I'm getting rid of a bit of the excess fat as well. And at this point, I'm just going to run my knife through it to make sure that it's nice and clean, and then I will cut it into the sizes that I'm going to be using for the soup. And I'm going to be doing the same for all the other organ meat and intestines that I am using. If you're not a big fan of organ meat or intestines or anything like that, if it kind of throws you off, just feel free to use any meat of your choice. Once I'm done cutting it, I'm going to pour some water over it to give it a quick rinse before I get started on my soup. And at this point, I'm also going to be roughly chopping some onions that I'll be blending along with some ginger and garlic. And once the soup goes onto our stove, I'm going to pour the blended mixture and add a bit of salt and allow it to cook for about 10 minutes. At this point, I'm going to add the other meats or proteins that we're using for the soup, and I'm using adrene, which is smoked dried fish, and I also have some cow foot that I have pre-cooked for a few hours in some onions and water and salt. I pre-cook it so that it gets soft enough for me to add to my soup at this point. And I'm also going to be adding some onions and tomatoes, and I'm gonna cover it to cook for another couple of minutes. While our soup cooks, I'm going to blend some peppers, Scotch bonnet or habanero peppers, with a bit of water until it is really smooth, and that's gonna be added to the soup. Alright, after our pepper mix goes in, I'm gonna give it a quick stir and let it continue cooking. I'm going to be taking the tomatoes and onions out of our soup base now. I'm going to blend it and set it aside for later. And our soup is underway, and I'm now going to check on my groundnut or peanut butter. As you can tell, the natural oils from the peanut butter has started to develop and it is forming on top of it. You want to keep this going for a few more minutes. And our groundnut mix is ready. As you can tell, a lot more of the natural oils have come on top of our mix here. So I'll turn the heat off and transfer it into our soup now. Since it's quite thick, we're going to add a few cups of water to loosen it up. Once you add the water, give it a quick stir and allow it to simmer on low heat. After a few minutes, I'm going to add my smoked mackerel or salmon, as we call it in Ghana, and I'm going to cover the soup and allow it to cook for a few more minutes. Now that the soup has been cooking for a little while, I have added my tomato and onion mix, the blended mix to it, and I'll give it a quick stir again and let it continue cooking. And our soup is looking good. It just needs to cook for about 15 more minutes. And I forgot to film this part, but I added a little bit of green peppers to it just to garnish it and for extra spice for someone like my husband who likes spicy food. And I just adjusted the salt a bit. I added about a teaspoon of salt to my soup, and it's gonna keep cooking just for a few minutes. And while that goes on, I will get started on my side or my swallow. And today we're having this with Omotuo. For my Omotuo, I use a 1:3 ratio. So I use, in this case, 2 cups of rice and 6 cups of water, and I'm going to cook it with about a teaspoon of salt. And when that is done, we're going to start putting it together just as I am doing here. And my loves, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button right away and turn on your notifications so that you will know when I upload more amazing videos. And remember to tell a friend about my amazing channel. Now I prepared all of this on the stove top. You can cook the rice in a rice cooker and just bring it together manually. And I also learned a trick from one of my Instagram little sisters, Samuela of Samuela's Kitchen. She actually uses her stand mixer for it, and I think that it is genius. So you can also try that as well rather than doing it manually like I am right now. once it comes together, we're going to form it into little balls, which is exactly why it is called rice balls in English. I don't know who came up with that, but hey, it works. So I'm just rolling it, and I'm going to be giving some away. So I'm going to wrap those ones into plastic or cling film. And if I were eating it immediately, I just transfer that into a bowl. So you just shape it kind of like I am doing right now, and you keep doing it until you're out of rice. And our Nkatekwan or groundnut soup is ready to be served, and today it is going well with our rice balls or Omotuo. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section when you try this amazing recipe out. Thank you all so much for coming along with me on this delicious journey. I will see you again very soon. Take care.